Hi everyone, this is Trish from the Sitesmith, and I'm here to show you a quick overview of WordPress. Now this is for people who are new to WordPress, have never done a post or a page, and are really not familiar with how WordPress works. So what we're going to do is show you a quick, try and keep it to under 20 minutes, demonstration of how to do some of the basic functions in WordPress. The first thing you're going to have to do is go to your WordPress login page. You get to there by going to your URL and then entering /wp-login and clicking enter, and it will take you to this page where you'll enter your username and your password. Now if you've lost your password, there's a way to recover it, so don't worry about it. It'll send it to your email address if you've lost it. So we'll say that we have it and we'll log in. What this does is takes you to the dashboard, and this is where you'll see all these tons of options as well as what's called your sidebar, which has all the options that you can customize, all the places you'll go to add information, and all of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to change your password, because a lot of times when someone sets up your website for you and they create a profile for you so that you can log in, they use a default password, something like change this or even the word password, because they want you to change the password to make it secure. And they don't want to have that password, so they want you to change it, and they want to make sure that it's something that is going to be secure for you. So when you get to that page, you'll see there are a ton of different options. I wouldn't worry too much about the personal options. These are things that you could play with when you get a little more advanced in WordPress, but for now it's nothing that you have to worry about. There is one thing that's kind of cool that I want to show you, and that's called the admin bar. It's a relatively new development of WordPress. It's maybe 3 or 4 versions old, and what it is when you're logged into your website, you'll see this dashboard, this bar across the top of every page and every post. And it's nice to be able to get into your website from a page or from a post without having to go to that WP login page. It'll only appear once you're logged in, and it'll only appear to users who are logged in. So a regular visitor, a stranger to your site, is not going to see this. And even if you're logged in at the same time that they visit it, they won't see it either. So to see this, you have to be a user and you have to be logged in. In fact, you won't even see it if you're not logged into your site. So let's close that out, and we're going to go down. You'll see there's a few options here to put your name. Your username can't be changed, so don't worry about that. Then you can put your first and last name, your nickname, and then some contact info here that is something that you can show publicly if you want. That's an option that you can change in a lot of themes, or you don't have to. We have it set so that it doesn't show up. Now at the bottom is where you're going to enter your new password. We recommend, and security professionals recommend, that you use a combination of upper and lowercase, numbers and symbols, and that you don't make it a word. In other words, you don't want it to be something like security or safe password or anything that is an actual word. You want it to be a combination of letters and numbers. For instance, I'm going to type it in here so you can see. This would be a pretty secure password to use, because no one is going to be able to guess this string of numbers and characters. Now you can go ahead and you'll type that into here, and I'm just typing randomly because I want you to see what happens when you enter passwords that don't match. You have to enter twice. Now if you start entering it wrong, you'll see that the box turns red and it says mismatch. So you have to have it match in both boxes. It's their security, one of their security measures. And they give you hints here for your password. It should be at least 7 characters long. And they tell you, like we said, use upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols so that people can't guess what your password is. You should never use words or names that someone who knows you would be able to guess, like your kids' names, your husband's or wife's name, your girlfriend or boyfriend's name, the school that you went to. You don't want any of that. You want to use random combinations. So once that's all done, you'll click Update Profile, and it will change your password for you. Remember, you want to write your password down somewhere or use something like we use, which is something called LastPass. And what that does is it saves all of your passwords for you. It's pretty nifty, and there are a few different types of things like that. We're not affiliated with them. It's just something that we use, and it's very handy. But there's a few other applications, pieces of software that you can use that do the same thing. So I highly recommend using one of those things because it just saves you from having to remember passwords. The next thing that we're going to show you how to do is how to update items on your website, and that includes everything from WordPress to plugins to themes. If you're running a fairly newer version of WordPress, you're going to have this WordPress updates page. If you're running a really old version, it's not going to have that. What it will have instead, and actually this is true regardless of whether you have an old version or a new version, is that when you have an old version of WordPress running and there is a new update, you'll get this yellow or orange bar across the top that will say, there's a new version of WordPress available, click here to update. We recommend always updating your WordPress because they always come out with safety and security measures that are updated, so you don't really want to miss out too much. And if you wait too long to update WordPress, if you wait several versions, it can sometimes be not as simple as just clicking on a button. There are sometimes additional things that you have to do just because the versions are so vastly different from one to the next. And you'll see there's this version that we're running is 3.2.1. If you get to 3.2.2, for instance, no, it's not incredibly vital that you update immediately. What is important is when you start to get to, let's say, 3.3, that indicates that there's a bigger version that has been let out, and so that you definitely want to update as soon as you can. You'll also see on this page that there are plugins that will need to be updated if there are, and your themes that need to be updated. And we don't have anything that needs to be updated, but if we did, it would just have a button here that would let you update it. You click on that and the whole thing is automatic. You don't have to worry about taking care of any of that yourself. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a post and show you how to do that. Now, something to remember when you're writing content on your website is the people who are doing the entities doing the searching for your information, they're people, they're not computers. Computers and search engines, they are the ones who index the information, they find the information, they organize it, but they're not the ones who are actually looking for the information. So when you're writing your title here, you want to make sure that you write it for a person, for a human being. So let's say that you sell refrigerators, and that's your business, and you sell refrigerators, you have a website for it, and you want to write a new blog post about the new models that have come out for 2012. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's not really that catchy of a title, so let's do this. We review the best new models of 2012. And remember, people are looking for information, and you have to remember, just like anything that's catchy is going to grab your eye, if you make a catchier title, you're going to grab their eye. So you want to write it with that in mind, that you're trying to grab the attention of someone who's looking for this information. So what you're going to do is you're going to enter that title, and you'll see as you typed, and then when you went to the next section here, this section here called permalink started to change, and you'll see that it's created this link here that they actually had to put a ... because it was too long. They couldn't put it all in there. What a permalink is, it's the permanent link, so that makes sense, the permanent link to your blog post or your page. So for instance, when you write a blog post, it automatically will go to the top of your blog page. As you write more content, that information gets pushed down and off of your blog page. Eventually, that's going to happen to any content that you write because no one has all of their blog posts on their blog page. They get archived, which is a good thing. You never want to have an endless page of blog posts. We've all seen that where you have to scroll down for years to get to a blog post at the bottom. So what'll happen is it'll get moved off of the blog post, and there's technically no way to find it, you would think. However, there is, because of course the information doesn't get deleted, and the way you find it is you go to the permalink, which is the permanent URL, the permanent location for that blog post. It will never change unless you change the title of the blog post, and sometimes not even then. But this is too long, so we're going to change this to 2012 models. Now, the permalink, you want it to be something that makes sense, but permalinks are something that search engines do look at, so you want to include what are called your keywords. In other words, they're words that refer to your business, to your product, to your location that people might search for. So if someone's searching for a new refrigerator, what are they going to look for? Well, they might look for 2012 refrigerator models. And now we're going to write in some content. There we go. Now you're going to scroll down and you'll see that there's a few options here. Don't worry about publish too much right now. What we're going to do is go down to categories. What categories are is just like it sounds. It's a way for you to categorize your information. And as you create content and you create more of it, it becomes difficult to categorize it unless you have a system for doing that. So that's what we have categories for. You might have a new category like reviews. That would make a lot of sense for you to have. And you can have it under a parent category if you have other categories. For example, you might have a category called refrigerators we sell, and under that you'll have reviews, something like that, or merchandise we sell, our products, and you might have reviews underneath that. It's just a way of organizing the information. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add that category, and we're going to have reviews checked as the category it's going to go under. Post tags, I wouldn't worry about these too much. They're a holdover from before they were categories, so it's just another way for people to search for your information on your site. So if you want, you can have reviews, new models, products. Or if you don't want to, you don't have to have tags at all. It doesn't make a huge difference. Featured image is something that we have that's custom to our theme, and you might or might not have it on your theme, but it's basically a way to add an image that shows up on the blog post. The more common way to add an image is this way, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Click on this little box here next to Upload Insert. You'll see it has Add an Image up at the top. We have an image on our computer that we're going to use, and we're going to upload that. Now there's all these options here that you can go for. You can have the alignment selected, you can pick the size, you can do all of that. So we're going to go ahead and leave that as is because we like these options. And again, here is the Use as Featured Image option. But we're going to go ahead and insert it into Post, and you can see that there's our image. And we've covered how to use images and how to customize them a little bit in another video that we have up right now. So I'm not going to go over that. I'm just going to upload the image so you can see what that looks like. And we are pretty much done. Now we're going to go ahead and publish this, but you do have the option to just save it as a draft. If you're not done working on it, if you want to come back to it and want to make some changes, you can change it. And if you've published it already and you realize, oh, that was a mistake, I don't want to have that published, you click on this and you can change it back to a draft if you want. You can also change when you publish it. You can have it published at some point in the future if you're timing your posts for some reason. So that is pretty much it as far as creating a post. I'll show you creating a page. It's much the same. There's just a few things that are slightly different. There's actually fewer options for pages than there are for posts. So again, you're going to enter your title up in here, then your text, and you can upload an image the same exact way. You'll see here it's the same process. Then again, you have the same options for publishing. You can move it to the trash if you decide it's a bad idea and you want to delete it. Now, the way that pages are organized is on your menu bar, you can have them nested underneath other pages. You can have them as their own pages, of course, but you can also nest them under pages. For example, you might have About, and then under About, you could have Our Team. So we have an Our Team page. You could have bios for each of your staff members. So that's one way to organize them. We have a template option here for our theme. You may or may not have that. Order is when you nest pages underneath another page on your website, you can tell it what order you want those pages that are nested to appear, if that matters, if that's an important thing. And again, there's the Set Featured Image, which is one of our theme options. So that is about it when it comes to our overview of WordPress. Thanks for letting us be of service. If any of this is confusing and you have questions, or if you would like to talk to us about how we can help you, feel free to email us at trish@thesitesmith.com, and have a great day.